picture, Dave, WW7N.
87ZYM, thanks for that. However, my 1.2 gig doesn't seem to be working as well. Good evening, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 repeater. I'm Gage, 87ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of radio amateurs that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. A crossband repeater, and it spits out images of 1.2 gigahertz. So before we get underway with our net, if anybody needs a contact or an emergency contact, we'll pause for that right now. Hearing none. We'll take check-ins. Already we got WU7N. James checked in. Is there anybody else who would like to check in?
N7QO. KD7QKU.
Okay, we got N7QO, KD7QKU. Anyone else? Okay, let's get underway. Let's go up to James, WU7N.
Okay, well, I thought I'd toss up this picture, kind of interesting here. I don't know if you guys heard, but the Japanese successfully landed two of their little probes on an asteroid way out there in outer space. So, anyway, this is this picture with the flare in the lower left and the flare in the upper right. That's as good as it gets. Apparently, this is the shadow you see in the center is the shadow of the other spacecraft. They landed them as a pair. So anyway, I thought that would be of interest to people tonight, so I thought I'd toss that picture up. Other than that, nothing too exciting going on here. A little bit of rain today. Overcast skies, as I'm sure for many people listening out there. I guess there's a 30% chance of rain tomorrow, and last I heard it's supposed to clear up for Monday. So your last chance to get anything done on a dry day for, 5 months? I'm not sure. Anyway, that's it for me. James, WU7N, back to net.
Thanks for that, James. Let's go to N7QO.
Thank you, Dave. N7QO. Well, hi, Dave. Hi, Jim. Hi, Ron. Yeah, weather. Sounds like tomorrow might be another day to do things inside the house. I'm not sure, but I'm sure my wife has something planned for me. I am going to be around tomorrow. Some intermittent rain around here today. I cannot say that it rained heavily at any time over here, but we definitely got some precipitation. and right now I'm showing 59 degrees. So I'm content with the temperatures as they are. Got a little bit windy sometime today. I noticed that. It affected some of the airplanes out there. Otherwise, nothing to mention. Thank you for those pictures, Jim. I had not heard that. Didn't get a chance to see this afternoon's news. I would bet it's probably going to be on the news this evening or something. Interesting. Clever people, those Japanese. Maybe they could do some mining on the asteroids or something. Not real sure what their plan was there, but 2 spacecraft, that sounds intriguing. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
And 7QO, Jim, thanks with that. Let's move over to KD7, QKU, Ron.
Okay. KD7ZYM in the group. This is KD7QKU. Well, good evening to James, and good evening to Jim, and then, of course, good evening to Dave. I sent Lee a text message and asked him if he was going to join us tonight. He said his back was pretty sore, so he was kind of, I guess, taking it easy, so I guess he's not joining us. Wednesday, I wasn't here on Wednesday. We went down to the Puyallup Fair, and we had a pretty good time. It was an absolutely beautiful day. I should have worn my shorts, I think. It was so darn warm. We saw all the usual things that we see, all the animals and all the flowers and all the pictures and the 4-H and all the quilts and whatever else and all the hobbies. I was hobbied out by the time we got to the hobbies, and so I went to the Coca-Cola stage, which is really close to the hobbies, and I listened to these guys. They were kind of a hillbilly band. They were pretty good. I listened to them for a while my wife finished up in the hobby building, and then I think we went and had over to the dairy barn, which is real close. I think we had a milkshake, and then it seemed like it wasn't too long after that we had some dinner. We were going to go over to this other stage and listen to the music. It was about 7 o'clock then. The band was starting at 7 o'clock. But they were rock and roll, a little bit too loud for us, so we decided to head home. So back to net, KD7QKU.
Thanks for that, Ron. This is Dave, KD7YM, in beautiful Lake City. It's been a little drizzly today a couple of times, nothing really to get excited about, no major downpours, and I checked my rain gauge, and it was dry, so it just goes to show you some places it comes down great, and some places it doesn't. But Lake City was a miss. Had some home chores to do today, and watched a little television this afternoon. Checked out my antenna for ATV. I was able to get the 70 centimeter unit pointed in the right direction, but I seem to be rather blind on 1.2 this evening, so I'll have to work on that again, realigning it. The picture that I'm seeing coming back at 2 centimeters on the 70 centimeters on the internet is a good P5 picture, so the 1.2 seems to be lined up in the same direction as the 70 centimeter antenna, so I don't know what's happening. I'm just not getting a good picture back, and I have to check that again. There was a little wind this evening, and it might have blown in a little bit. So with that, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the OABU. I'm Dave, 87EYM. So let's move back up to the top of the list, James, WW7ATS.
Thank you, Dave. Well, it looks to me like we've got about 6 seconds of delay tonight. It's 8:08. 809. I have this theory that the delay gets worse and worse on the internet as the net progresses, so we'll see if that turns out to be true. What I've got tossed up right now is radar, and it certainly looks like all the wet weather is up to the north and east of us. So anyway, I just did some expansion just to see how the resolution would come through. That's not actually too bad. It looks like it's coming through much better on internet streaming than actually my 1.2 gig tonight too, although I think I've got a good solid P4 or P5 return loop off the hill. Anyway, if anybody's interested, knows any kids around, Rent and Fish and Game, tomorrow Sunday is Kids Day. I think that starts about 10 a.m., so that's fun to be had by all. If you have supervised kids, you can bring them out to Rent and Fish and Game, shoot some balloons or some targets with a 22 rimfire under very close supervision, so if anybody knows anyone who does that sort of thing. I usually volunteer, but I'll actually be working starting 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I'll probably help them clean up around 1 o'clock or so, but I won't be able to be there to help them set it up or participate. Anyway, let's see. That's it for me. Let me toss a picture up here. Well, lighting could be better, but that's what I'm looking like there tonight, guys. So that's it for me, James WW7ATS. Let's take it back to net control. Dave, take it away.
WU7N, 87ZYM here. Let's go on to Jim, N7QO.
Thank you, Dave, N7QO. Well, thanks for the radar picture there. I'm still looking at it. Jim, I concur with the lag getting increasingly worse as the net seems to go on. That was my observation the last couple of times that I saw the internet. And earlier, and that was only like 10 minutes ago, I had all of about a 15-second delay, and now it's over a minute. I'm still looking at the radar picture, but oh well, at least I can see it. Yeah, Dave, your picture looks real good on 434. I assume you're looking at it on the stream. Aha! Now I just saw it, Jim. I just saw your face just right now. It popped up. Yeah, looks good. Ron, good to hear from you. Sorry to hear about Lee. I know he has been having some problems. I remember you mentioned, was that the last net or maybe 2 nets ago, whenever I was last here, that he hurt his back. Boy. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, KD7ZYM here. KD7QKU, Ron, you're up.
Okay, this is KD7QKU. Well, I don't know if you're watching the Husky game or not, but they just scored another touchdown, so it's 13-10. Huskies over the Arizona Sun Devils right now. I think still in the first quarter. A little bit earlier, I was watching Oregon. They were playing Stanford, and man, they were really leading Stanford, and then they had a touchdown called back, and then they hiked the center, hiked the ball over the quarterback's head, and the Stanford picked it up and run it down the field for a touchdown. And I don't know where that game's at now, but it was just about all tied up, and it was a shame because Oregon looked like got the momentum going, and they were going to win that game. So let's see. Let it drop. So today, my friend Kim out in Linwood, there was some people selling some rocks out there, and so he wanted to go take a look at them. So we went over and taken a look at them, and Canadian, and it's got these white gray specks in it. I forget what it's called. I don't know if most of you are familiar with obsidian or not. The Indians used to make arrowheads out of this kind of a glassy black. You find it in volcanic areas. But anyway, I got that for $1. It's the only thing I bought. Kim didn't buy anything. They had lots of stuff for sale, but don't need any of it, I guess, really. It's just kind of fun to go look like everything else. Then it started to pour down rain. It rained more up in Linwood than it did down here, so then we headed back under cover. Had a couple of other stops at our favorite store, but didn't find anything there to buy. So anyway, yeah, Lee, I guess, has been down in the back. He sent me a picture today of Paula. Apparently Paula's been taking a sailing class, and she was on a 40-foot schooner or something, sloop schooner or something, I forget what it was now, and she was at the wheel, and she had a yellow coat on, she looked real nice, so she was having fun. I don't know when that sailing class was, if it was, this week or when it was, but anyway, it looked like she was having fun. All right, I guess that's enough for now. Oh, and Dave, your picture is really good. James's picture is about like mine. I almost think your picture's coming through better than mine. And Jim, you actually had a pretty good picture tonight. Better than he did the last time I saw you. All right, back to that. KD7 continues.
Connected WU7N.
Is there anybody else who would like to join the net? Hearing none, I can get back a report what I'm seeing coming in on the streaming. James has a 4+. Jim, N7QO, I'm seeing a 2.5 black and white image. Can make out facial features. Not a complete silhouette this evening. And Ron is a 4+. And so that's about what I can say. I'm blindsided on the 1.2 gig down conversion. I think my antenna blew a little bit today. There was some wind. So I'm glad to hear that the 70 centimeter is running well. So should there be a break in the weather, I'll see if I can realign my 1.2 gig antenna in the same direction as the transmitting antenna is. So that's about what I've got to add for today. With a short group, it goes around fast. So back up to James, WU7N.
Okay, well, with a small I thought I would test Echo Link. So what I've done is connected to Echo Link and turned the volume down, and just to see if I'm coming through on the repeater. It sounds like there's half second to 1 second delay on the audio. And true to form, it also does look like our streaming on the internet has got quite a significant delay. I don't know if it's just my computer, but I think I'm up to about a 20-second delay right now. So I'd be interested in knowing what other people's delay experience is on the internet, because I'm trying to figure out if it's this particular computer or if it's just what's happening. So anyway, a special thanks to the people who run the repeater for getting Echo Link working. Sorry to hear Lee is out with his back. I hope he heals up quickly. And Ron, if there's something he feels somebody can do something for him, hope he'll shout out and let us know. So I'm going to go ahead and drop Echo Link here. And I'll just say on my regular transmitter here, this is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. And I'm going to turn it back to the net after that Echo Link test. You're right, Dave, with a small group, it certainly does go around fast. WU7N.
WU7N This is KD7ZYM. I would say there was only about a 15-second delay with the latency on the internet when you were talking. That was quite interesting. I think this all has to do with each of our ISPs that come in. I've got CenturyLink fiber optics, and so it seems to be fairly fast, but however, I have to go down and grab that bar on the bottom of the picture on the internet and move that to the left and then snap it back to the right, to the far right, and then the images seem to come up right away. So let's see, moving down, Jim, N7QO, it's yours.
N7QO. Well, I wish I could say I'm having a better experience with the internet. It might very well be something in my circuitry here. Plus I've got a router which where I'm using an extender with it as well. But right now I'm still seeing the computer page which Jim put up. So I've got a significant delay. It just went away now. I should get a stopwatch. I meant to bring that out here last week and I forgot. And maybe next week, just something to time. Wish I had something as sophisticated as Lee, but a good old-fashioned stopwatch will work. I'll have to try that. I guess that's about all I've got for now. Back to you, Lake City Dave, and 7QO.
Thanks for that, Jim. Check your telephone. It may have an app on it. Generally, you get the time app up, and then it says Other, and I know on mine there is a stopwatch function, a count up and a count down that you can utilize. Maybe your smartphone is smarter than you are tonight. Anyway, let's go on down to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, this is KD7QKU again. Well, you can see what I use. I use a little egg timer, a little hourglass, a little egg timer, and I just turn it over and let the band sit down it. That's what I use when Lee's on, and I'm running him through my radio so we don't time it up. Shoot, oh yeah, you guys were talking about it is his back, I assume too. He said he's been up quite a bit today on my little text message. I asked him if he was going to be on. He said he's been up quite a bit. He wasn't going to get on. He didn't want to overdo it. Anyway, I switched back over to the Oregon game. It's on Channel 4. If you haven't watched that, and it was 31-28. Oregon was still ahead, and I don't know. It could be in the fourth period. Yeah, they are in the fourth period. There's not much time left. The game's almost over. So anyway, that's what I did. I went up to Kim's. There was lots of traffic today. I think 5 and 99 and the Viaduct and 167 and everything was messed up today. So there was a lot of people out. And then it was Saturday on top of it. So anyway, didn't do too much. Like I said, we went over and looked at this guy's rocks. He wanted quite a bit for him, really. It's more fun to go find your own than it is to buy something from somebody, but it was just something to do, get out of the house. So anyway, that's about all I have. Yeah, James, your pictures look good. Of course, I don't have a computer on here, so I don't know what the delay is. Okay, back to that. KD7 continues.
WU7N disconnected.
Thanks for that, Ron. This is Dave, 87YM in beautiful Lake City. You know, it's kind of interesting. When I went over to snap that line at the end of the, that red bar at the end of the picture, it said minus 15, and that seemed to be what the delay was 15 seconds. So that, I've never seen that before when I brought up the line. And so now, when I bring it up, it says minus 28 seconds. So it seems to change from time to time. Also, I'm experienced when I go to our site, I no longer get the picture of a young lady sitting on the park bench overlooking Elliott Bay. And I don't know if that's because Google does not recognize XP anymore. That's what I'm running on my computer that I'm watching this. But everything else is there. You've got the stream that you can, click on, and that brings the stream up. But I'm minus the picture. So that's all I've got to say. So let's move back up to James, WU7N.
Well, I hope I didn't speak out of turn, so to speak. I did disconnect from Echolink, and you heard me. It is interesting. Echolink is smart enough to wait for its turn, but then it just jumps right in there. This is news for Ron, primarily to tell Lee. Echolink does appear to have a problem still. When I spoke, when I was connected with Echolink, I could hear myself through my own transceiver, 2-meter transceiver. But then when I stopped talking and you guys spoke, all I got was intermittent bursts of static on my computer. So apparently the only people that can hear you are logged into the repeater via Echolink. So you might want to let Lee know that for next time, that he can speak, but he'll have to hear through some other way. Looks like I just got a flash of the color bars in the ID there, so I don't know what that was about. Didn't change my video transmitter any at all during that phase. So anyway, I did add some lighting here. Looks like a little better picture, but it's still a little bit harsh and glary off the top. So anyway, I think at this point I'll turn it back to Net. And Dave, I do see the picture of the young lady. I'm using Windows 7, so that might be something XP related. I see the young lady in the upper left, and then this stream is in the center, and of course I can put the stream on full screen as well. So I don't know if that helps you or not. This is WU7N, back to Net.
WU7N, that was interesting. I went down as soon as you started talking and snapped the bar, the red line on the bottom of the picture, and then it showed I had minus 00, and you were in complete lip sync. So that was kind of interesting to see. Then I snapped it again in a few seconds later, then it went back to minus 30. So it seems to vary going up and down, but it's kind of interesting to see that when you put the cursor on that little red dot on the bar and then snap it to the left and right. It does have a readout of how far behind the picture is running in latency. So that's what I've got to add. Let's move on to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO. Well, I don't have any sort of bar like that on mine. That was a good idea to use the cell phone. However, I'm using the cell phone to display the streaming. So I have to make the streaming go away if I want to use it as a stopwatch. So I'm not sure that's going to work all that well. And I also see the girl on the streaming here. So I don't know what to make of that. Ron, that's a pretty sophisticated timer you've got there. My eggs are done when my wife says my eggs are done. So, I'm not sure about timing them. I don't want to rile anyone, so to speak. Otherwise, I might have to cook my own darn eggs. But that's pretty cool. Matter of fact, if I remember, next time I'm at the dollar store, maybe I'll see about buying one of those. That's a good idea. I'm at a loss of words. 87ZYM and 7QO.
I hear you there, Jim. You know, we only have 4 people. It certainly comes around fast. Let's go to Ron, KD7QKU.
87QKU here. Well, Jim, it seems like as the evening goes on, your picture is getting a little better. I can't say that about mine. Like I say, I think Dave's picture is almost the best tonight. So let's see. That was kind of interesting what James told us about the beginning of the program about the Japanese. I guess they landed on an asteroid or something up there. And I think he said there was two machines. Oh man, Huskies almost scored another touchdown. The guy just couldn't hang on to the ball when it was passed to him. And I don't know if you're watching Channel 4, but Stanford just tied it up in regular time, so 31-31, and they win it now. They're in overtime, I guess. So, yeah, like you say, it goes around kind of fast. I'm looking around here to see. Seemed like there was something else I was going to talk about. I don't know what it was. I did get a little drone with Dave the day we stopped by Costco, and I bought the little $29.95 drone. I did get the batteries charged, and I stuck a battery in it, and I actually taken it outside, maybe it was last night, and I hadn't hardly read the directions, and so I turned it on, and then I turned on the controller, and then I pushed the little throttle forward, and it went up in the air, and it was about 4 feet from the ground, I guess, and then I sort of let loose of the controller, and it didn't want to stay. It started moving off, and I didn't know. I got excited, I guess, and I forgot which lever did what. So anyway, there's a stop or land or something. I guess it's an emergency, and so I pushed the emergency, and it landed in a little bush up on top of the rockery there, and so that was the end of my flight. So it flew about 6 or 8 feet from where I had it sit on the ground. But yeah, no, it rose right up in the air, you know, just and then it sat there, and then it just slowly started drifting over, and I didn't know how to stop it. So anyway, I got to read the directions. And I did go down and get a new battery. I went down and got a new battery yesterday for the boat. So my little 12-foot Linum. So if the weather's good this week, I'll probably try to go fishing. All right, back to that, KD7QKU.
Okay, Ron, this is Dave, KD7ZYM. You know, that's interesting with your little drone. I would always be worried that it would fly away and I'd never see it again. So I still haven't ventured out enough to try a drone out. But the other thing, going back to James W7N with that Japanese landing today, both of those devices they said were about 10 to 11 inches long that landed. So, I mean, it's kind of like Ron's little drone that he picked up at Costco, size-wise. But the story I saw said they're coming back with a bigger unit that's probably about 3 feet long to land on it. These two devices were sort of sent up to explore what was on the surface, and then once they made that decision, they would launch a bigger object to land. So that's all I've got to add. I'll stop here in case anybody else wants to join us. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. And with that, let's move up to WU7N.
Okay, well, Ron, I saw that little tiny model drone at Costco myself for about $30. I was tempted, and I guess they're on until the end of the month. I still may get it. One question I have is, does it have a camera on it? I assume it does. Anything like that should. And if so, can you see the pictures real time, or do you just aim it and recover a little chip out of it later for the photograph? Those the two little I don't know, they're sort of about the same size as Ron's little drone. I just tossed a picture up there. This is, of course, artist conception. What absolutely amazes me on this is the photographs they're getting. I guess they're just so far out there in space. It just amazes me that you can get anything at all. I would love to know whether those little tin cans are sending these photographs, like this one here. Are they sending them direct to some huge array here on Earth, or do they go to the mothership, which is a shorter distance from the asteroid, and then that in turn transmits them onto Earth? I would imagine there must be a relay in there, because I can't imagine, as small as those things are, they can get enough of the signal to get. But if anyone knows the answer to that, I'd be interested in it. And this is the first picture I put up. This is what actually comes, and again, it's amazing you can just get anything at all from that distance. There's another one here that I believe that is a picture of the asteroid itself before they landed. But I'm sorry, you really have to use your imagination to see what I said. You have to really use your imagination to kind of see what's going on here. I guess this in the lower right-hand corner is a hunk of the rock. I guess the asteroid isn't that big to begin with. So anyway, question for Ron, and regarding your little RPV there, how do you get video off it, and how soon will it be before we can see some? This is James, WU7N, and let me toss up a picture here. And there's an ID, so back to net, WU7N.
WU7N, let's move on down to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO. Yeah, Jim, thanks for that. I don't know for sure either. I would presume that those creatures are sending their data up toward the mothership where they are relayed, but don't know for sure. Just probably a data stream. Everything's probably digitized, I would assume. Curious question. I bet the public wouldn't consider asking about that, but yeah, interesting thought. So they sure look like good pictures, high definition, and I would bet that the Japanese receiving them are seeing even better definition than what we've got. Drones. Reset. Yeah, Ron, I would be worried about losing my drone too. I remember Lou Hutton got an RC helicopter, and he duct taped it down to the kitchen table and ran it up, and he showed us video on that. I don't know. I think if I did that, my wife would have a serious problem with me. But that was pretty funny, I thought. And then that inspired Lee to get an RC helicopter, if my memory serves me correctly. I remember he showed us some video of it flying around. And it seems like when he moved to Port Angeles, he flew that in a gymnasium or something up there for at least for a little time. Wonder if he's flying that again. If I forget, maybe someone else can help me remember to ask him about that next time he's on a net. That seems like fun, but probably more challenging than the current generation even of drones. KD7ZYM and 7QO.
7QO, and my gosh, it's ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's run down to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, this is KD7QKU. This is a little drone. As you can see, it's quite small. I could probably fly it in the house, but I would probably be in big trouble because I'd be knocking the table lamp over or something. So, yes, it does have a camera in it, but you have to download an app for your cell phone. And then on the controller, there's a little attachment that you put your cell phone right on the controller. So when you're looking at the controller, you're looking at the, I assume it's a Wi-Fi picture. There's no chip in it that I know of. Let's see, what else did you ask me? I remember when I, glanced through the instructions, it talked about putting it on a flat surface, and I forget what they called it, but anyway, adjusting the controls so that it wouldn't do what it did. It would hover in a stationary position, but I failed to do that, and it did want to hover in a stationary position. So I'll have to, it's amazing. It does an awful lot of things. It's amazing how much information there was in the directions, more than I wanted to read, unfortunately. So I thought maybe it would. I could just fly it. It didn't quite work out that way. So anyway, yeah, it talked about orientating it so that front was front or something, and I didn't do that either. So I don't know. I guess I'll have to actually set it on a table or something outside and then do what it says to do, turn it on and move the levers all the way one way and all the way the other way or something, and then it'll be set up. Apparently they don't do that before you get them. All right, that's about all I have. So back to that KD7QKU.
Thanks for that, Ron. KD7QKU. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, very interesting net tonight. We've moved along with 4 people and kept it a little bit on the live side. That's great. I'd like to thank James, Jim, Ron for at least joining in for the net tonight. And I really have kind of talked out, not much more to add, but I'll move it back to James, WW7ATS.
Well, I think we live in very interesting times here, because if you think about two of the subjects we're talking about here tonight, one, for $30 from Costco, you can buy a little remotely piloted vehicle that you don't even have to read the instructions. And Ron, you didn't destroy it yet, so I'd say that's pretty good. Could you have done that with one of the old RC helicopters? I don't think so. I think it would have been a real YouTube moment if the duct tape had cut loose on your friend's kitchen table and let the helicopter go, because that would have been pretty interesting. I had a friend with a very large RC helicopter. Okay, interesting. I had color bars for a minute. Oops, I don't have a picture up. Sorry. As I was saying, I had a friend with a very large RC helicopter, and he was quite the RC pilot of fixed wing. But I said, you know, helicopters are just notoriously difficult to fly. He goes, yeah, I know. And so he moved, actually, to Nevada before he ever took it up. And he was looking for a qualified instructor, because that thing was huge. I mean, if that crashed into something important, he could have done damage with it. So anyway, Ron, there's got to be some way on that thing, if you download the app to cell phone, to record the video. Now, this may be the same little drone that a neighbor's kid got across the street, and he had that thing flying way, way high up there. And but I didn't see any video that he had created off it. I'd be curious to know also if it was an iPhone or a Unix-based, Linux Android phone, or do they do both? Be interested to know that. So anyway, we live in an age where you can buy a $30 drone from Costco, and an object about the same size can be millions of miles away in space and take pictures of a rock in outer space and send it back. This must be a sign of age. I find both things absolutely amazing. Anyway, 8:46, and yes, Dave, it does go around in a hurry. So if you want to go another round or call this the 73s, I'll leave that to net control. This is James WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. Back to you, Dave.
WW7N. Let's move on to Jim, N7QO.
Yeah, N7QO. Thank you, Dave. I'm pretty well talked out for tonight. Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder what our wives' reaction would be if they heard what we're talking about here. Duct taping helicopters down and flying drones into bushes and whatnot. Yeah, I could just imagine if I tried something like that, flying it in the house, it would probably shred a lampshade or something like that. I'm sure I'd somehow get into trouble with it anyway, so I'll have to pass on that. Anyway, thanks everyone. KD7ZYM and 7QO.
N7QO, KD7CYM here. Let's go on to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, this is Ron, KD7QKU again. James, it'll go either iPhone or Android, is that what it is? It does both of the phones, so it should be good to go. And I didn't look for the app or anything. I thought maybe later on I would, if I faster being able to fly it. I almost need a little more room, I think. The way I was going, I just taken it out, set it down in the backyard. You know, my backyard doesn't have much space in it, and so I was, right there behind the patio, and it went up, and then, like I say, it started going south. It was up there above the rocker where the plants are, and I was afraid it was going to crash into the fence or something. And it has this button that I think you can push that makes it land. I was desperately trying to push the button to make it land, and I think that it did land in the bushes, but it didn't seem to hurt it. I can't see any marks on it. So anyway, all right, well, I'm going to say 73, and you guys enjoy tomorrow. I guess the Seahawks play tomorrow. I just switched over here to see if I could find out who won that Oregon game, and Looks like maybe the game is over, and there was something on Channel 4 called Seattle Responding. So I don't know if Oregon or Stanford won. I guess I'll find out. All right, everyone have a good one, and I think you're right, James. We're going to have a real nice week coming up. So, all right, good night, everybody. 87 continue. Back to them.
Well, good night, Ron. And this is Dave, 87 CYM, beautiful Lake City again. Well, I guess we'll call it to an end, but I'll open it up here. Is there anything from anyone before we decide to terminate the net? Well, I'm overwhelmed with that response. Anyway, thanks to WW7N, M7QO, Jim, and 87QKU Ross for participating in the net this evening. And I'd like to take this time to thank the owners and operators of the 08 machine, the CTAC Repeater Group, for allowing us to use it for our voice channel for our Western Washington Amateur Television Society net, held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So we'll terminate a little bit early this evening. So thank you all for your participation, and good evening all. This is Dave, 87CYM, on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Good evening.